getting us ready for a little music. Ready to give it another try, folks.
Nothing compares to you. Amazing song.
Where's the line?
Amazing song.
Boss, Mad, Noonish. Ready to say hi? You ready to say hi, Ross? Right
Yep.
now, they just look at this. They got a big line. It just says, "Where's the line? Where's the beef? Where's the beef?" I say.
Where's the beef?
Oh, wait a minute. There we are. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? It is a new year and a new day. Today marks the passing of David Bowie 6 years ago, in addition to other fun things.
And Bob Saget like 2 days ago.
Bob Saget 2 days ago, Betty White,
Jesus,
Sidney Poitier.
man.
I can't lose any more icons
We're
this
just
week.
they're laying it on thick. The universe is trying to tell us something. I
Something.
think.
I
I
don't
think.
know.
I don't know what it is, but I don't want
You're-
to jinx it. You
You ever
know.
watch Men in Black?
Yes, of
I'm
course.
just saying this. If Rodman goes next, I know the aliens are leaving the planet.
If Rodman goes in, Dennis Rodman.
Well, yeah, obvious. I mean, we all okay. Good chance
Okay,
Betty White
I'm
was
listening.
an alien.
I'm hearing you out.
She lived a long time. She'd been. I mean, she was amazing. She was better than most humans, which
Right.
suggests to me that maybe she wasn't on the. Have you seen you guys lately? But so Betty White leaves. Sidney Poitier leaves, like the tops.
Right.
The cat won't leave and just keeps meowing.
Right.
So like, Michael Jackson left early.
Yeah.
But they remember in Men in Black, like they were all aliens. They were all people visiting the planet.
Wait a second. Yeah.
And so the most most
Yeah,
obvious
okay,
alien
okay,
to leave.
Okay. I got you. I understand now. Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that, and I was like, what? I need to hear this out.
So if Dennis Rodman,
Right?
Keanu Reeves, or Nick Cage.
They were all aliens in Men in Black.
Okay, wait a minute. There's pictures of of Keanu Reeves and Nick Cage from the Civil War. You've seen these pictures. I mean, where they're just like,
I think if it's Keanu, we're going down a dark path. I mean, we're already kind of down a dark path, but like, come on. He's such a
Keanu?
cool person.
well,
Man.
right, but
He's such a cool person.
if we wake up tomorrow and all the dolphins are gone, and there's a note that just says, "So long, thanks for all the fish," I'm telling you, we're in trouble.
From who?
From the dolphins.
From the dolphin? Oh, the dolphins.
If the
are
dolphins
leaving?
all leave
The
and they
dolphins
leave
are
a note
leaving.
that says, "So long, thanks for all the fish."
What are they gonna leave Earth? Are they aliens too? This is your conspiracy.
Well, okay,
theory?
you can see dolphins are obviously smarter than we are. They spend the majority of their time playing. They have a good time. Okay, rape the occasional seal. I'm not saying they're all good.
Right.
But they're obviously here on vacation. How much work have you seen them do? I'm just saying.
What kind of work do animals do? Is the question, I think.
Okay, dolphins who are obviously, I mean, we look at them, they're obviously smarter than us.
Right.
I mean, they come and save us when we're being stupid.
Okay.
Okay, but then we maybe save them from nets and beaches occasionally.
Right. We do that.
But the point is,
Okay.
the reason there's no dolphin cities is because they don't live here, they just vacation here.
Or it's because they live in water. I think that has to do with it.
I've seen Waterworld.
The water world.
All we had
so
was
you think,
water and we
you
still
think
built
that they could have
cities.
made Atlantis?
No, I don't think they would. Why would they? They're here on vacation, just like
a
God
city.
was when he knocked up, what's her name?
God vacationed down to Earth, and that's why Jesus was born. Yep.
Well, when you're on vacation, you know what your wife know don't hurt you. You know?
God has a
What
wife.
stays in Jerusalem stays in Jerusalem. What happens in Jerusalem stays in Jerusalem. The Vegas of the Middle East.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
I don't think any of that stuff, folks. Much.
It's okay. It's okay. You can. This is a safe space. You can.
This
you
is a
can-
safe space.
you can theorize as much as you want.
See, folks, that's our goal here. We're creating a safe space. I'm Matt. This is Russ. This is Where's the Line.
Right?
Where's it going to go? A variety of different places depending on how we feel on any given day and
Realistically.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And where we think the lines are, right? Isn't that kind of what we're doing?
pretty much.
that we don't talk about. There's a lot of stuff that nobody talks about.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I've noticed you're black.
Um,
This is whiteface. I'm black too.
oh my god.
So some of what we're looking at is the fact that we obviously come from diverse backgrounds.
Right.
That one of the
right.
things we bring to the table is the fact that you are how old?
18.
And as previously mentioned, you are correct, black?
C.
See?
Yes.
Now you're really going to confuse them. Oh, Dominican.
Dominican.
Your family's originally from
Guyana.
Guyana,
Yes.
Guyana.
1/4. My granddad's from Guyana.
and that's northern South America, just above Brazil.
It's I
Kind
believe
of
it's
above
next.
and-
I believe it's next to Venezuela.
It's like kind of between the two.
I think
isn't
it's next
Or
to
it's-
Suriname and either Venezuela or Colombia. I don't remember which one of those is.
They do chalk a bunch of smaller countries in up there. I always think
Yeah,
of,
it's
when
like
I think of that
it's like
corner.
because there's Brazil taking up everything, and then there's a bunch of small countries up there
right.
at the top. Kind
Silly Portuguese keeping this shit together.
of. That's funny.
This is an interesting fact. And
Well,
we're-
to be fair.
To be fair. To
Anyways,
be fair.
most of Brazil is unusable because it's jungle, but they stick
Well,
to
okay,
the coast.
here's the problem. No,
It's-
that's not what's going on in Brazil. I'm gonna pass
Okay.
on a little information that
Okay.
actually came out in the last week about Brazil.
Okay.
So the portion of the rainforest that is being decimated the fastest, they've decided to stop keeping track of how fast it's being cut down and turned into farmland.
Oh, really?
The biggest problem isn't that, hey, Brazil not usable. It's, hey, Brazil very usable if you cut down the trees.
I see.
The rest of us need the trees kind
Right,
of because
right,
we're
right.
busy smoking our cars out. And so one of the biggest problems with that whole area, Bolsonaro and all of his outlook on COVID aside,
Right.
is that there's sort of a competing, I want to survive,
Mhm.
I could have a farm,
Mhm.
but to do that I have to cut down the rainforest.
Right.
There are indigenous people still that live in the rainforest. Some of them we've tried to keep low contact with even. Obviously this changes more and more the more we encroach. So Brazil, save the rainforest, folks. You know, just if nothing else, because I'd like to take a trip down the Amazon one time. Just I want to see it so bad.
I want to like see it. I just don't want to like.
You don't want to get out in it.
Yeah. I want to take like a river cruise or something.
So
Like
if you go down to
not
Guyana,
a cruise, but I don't know how they do it. Like
Yeah, no,
a
they-
tour or something.
they
Like
do riverboat.
yeah,
kinda,
riverboat type thing.
But
Yeah,
I don't.
definitely.
I think there gets a point where it's not like cruise ship.
there's shit that they haven't discovered yet.
No,
There's stuff that they haven't discovered, and I don't.
think above ground we know most of it.
I would rather not get bitten by something I've never seen in my life before. Like never even seen,
What
never
if
no one's ever heard of it. Like I don't want to have that happen to me. I'm good.
What if it gives you some Andrew Garfield like size like powers and stuff?
Okay.
Dun dun dun
Alright,
dun dun dun.
to-
Bum,
yeah,
bum, bum,
yeah.
bum, bum,
That would be
dun, dun,
interesting,
dun,
but
dun.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
You're good with it.
Yeah,
Screw it.
I'm
not
good
willing to take
without-
the risk.
Yeah, I'm not really willing to take the risk.
All I can think of is that really, really bad insurance like ad that's out, Colonel. You know the one I mean, right?
No.
No, the one where he's like, sure, he's good. It's awful. We hate it, and he's gonna get spider powers, and he's like, and he gets bit by the spider, and then they
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I know what
come
you're
back,
talking
and his
about.
eyes like.
His eyes swollen.
Do
they're
I have
wheeling him out.
powers?
They're wheeling him out on a
On a gurney.
yeah, on a gurney. Yeah, definitely.
So, but you've never been to Guyana.
No.
Not Ghana, Guyana.
Yes.
This will get confusing.
This will get
New
more
show
and more
coming soon.
confusing. Yes.
Ghana, Guyana, Guyana.
Yes.
I'm from Guyana.
Mhm.
So you've never been to Guyana.
Nope. I've only heard stories.
Where have you? So we're in Columbus, Ohio. For those of you who don't know, Gahanna, Ohio, to be more specific. Shoot, if you can figure out what the B in 586B stands for, I will send you an emoji. I know, ooh, big prizes, prizes.
I'm trying to think myself because I don't even know.
Sneaky,
Have
sneaky.
no clue.
Well, one of these days, if you ever figure it out, you can like burst it out. You can be like, I know what the B stands for.
Right.
The B stands for.
Right.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I was gonna sing a song, but I don't remember a song that has Nobody Knows in it.
There's got to be a song out there with nobody
There's
knows.
there's some song. Yeah. Sometimes I get songs in my head randomly, like, and I don't know if they're real or not. Like, I don't know if someone's
You don't know if
created
they're
them,
your songs or
and
if they're a
I've
song-
heard them
right, right,
somewhere,
right.
or like if I just randomly came up with that idea. You know?
I get that. So those of you who don't know, Ross is a musician. Got a few really nice songs out currently. We've got Smile, we've got Loveless. So
Yes.
really nice freestyle out, Love Yourself. A few
Yes.
things here and there. Look for TikTok. Look for anywhere you can type in Ross Jordan or RJ or Studio 586B.
If you look up RJ the Kid on almost everything except for Spotify for the time being, you'll come up with my page. My page is usually, my artist name is RJ. But RJ
Right.
the Kid was what I went by for a lot of things.
When you were a
because
kid?
You can't. Well, no.
Well, you went by RJ the Kid
the
back
thing
when
is,
you were a kid.
Well, the thing is, you can't actually just say RJ because I'm not big yet. So when you say
You could
that,
be RJ
it
the
doesn't-
Man now.
RJ the Man.
You could be RJ the Man Kid.
I don't think I have the height requirements to claim that title yet.
Damn. He said, I've decided I can see the number of forces in front of me with loaded weapons. I'm just going to turn this here blunderbuss on myself and take this damage quickly.
Oh my god. If you've never seen Looper.
Ross is very, very tall in his own mind. Will never stand up. See, we're almost the same height. Actually, if Ross was over here, he'd be like this on the mic. He'd be like, hey guys, I can... Not really. So, you've lived in Columbus, obviously.
Yes.
Where else have you lived?
New York.
New York.
Yes.
The Big Apple.
Yes.
Which borough?
Brooklyn. You ever been?
You know what? I've been there working. Lots.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in the one financial tower, the one that's right next to, God, when I was there, it was a hole in the ground, actually. But now it's the new World Trade Center.
Yeah.
I've worked in and around the city. I've delivered stuff to stuff in Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like on the weekend, been there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I offloaded all of the rigging for the shoot. That was the Titanic show when it was in town. Not, it's just the rigging. It's stuff that holds it all up. Nothing
Right.
of interest. Yeah, I
Right,
just
right,
had the
right.
crap in the back of my truck to get. Had to move from Cleveland to New York right now.
Okay.
But I've kind of seen everything east of the Mississippi kind of that way. I haven't been to spend a bunch of time in Florida, but most cities seems like I've been there at some point or another working because I spent 15 years driving a truck specifically.
Right. Right.
Probably about 7 of that specifically traveling that much.
Okay.
You know, spent a bunch of time down in Georgia, the Carolinas.
What's your favorite memory outside of Ohio?
My favorite memory outside of Ohio. See, that's not fair because then I'll probably jump to Thailand.
Okay.
I'll probably jump outside the.
So.
Excuse me. I'll probably jump outside the country then.
So.
Favorite country in the United States.
So Thailand.
Or favorite city in the United States.
So Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah. So Thailand, and then what? You come back and then do trucking? What is?
Well, okay. So. Graduate St. Charles Preparatory School.
Right.
Got like the official college prep kind of education.
Mm-hmm.
Had been applying. It takes about a year or two to get all your application stuff done for Rotary
Right,
Youth Exchange,
right.
so I knew that was coming. I planned that between my senior year of high school and in theory college.
Mhm.
Started my applications for marine biology and stuff. What I planned to do on when I got back,
Mm-hmm.
and so on July the 5th or 6th, I want to say I left for Thailand
Mm-hmm.
after turning 18 on June 12th and graduating on June
Jeez.
6th.
That's
It's my virginity
crazy.
on June 6th, too. In a van! Down by the river! True story, and that's all you're getting.
I've heard this story before.
But that's all you're getting. But it is true. Every time I hear about a van down by the river, I have trouble not going, in a van!
Down by the river.
Her mom's van. Anyways. So then I leave for Thailand for basically a year, 10 and a half months.
Okay.
Came back. I had finished my applications. I'd been accepted to a 6-year PhD marine biology program where I'd pick up my, what is it, your bachelor's, your master's, and your PhD in about a 6-year period.
Okay.
And then I blew it off and didn't go.
You were like, nah, son, that's not for me.
There are points where I wish I had.
Okay.
Okay, but the reality is, if anything's taught me anything over time, is that that's kind of wasted effort to go, I wish I'd done this or that, because then you wouldn't be here.
Right.
Even you wouldn't have the question to answer.
Right. My question is, what was your thought at 18 when you thought, I'm not going, I'm not doing it? What drove you? What was the decision-making process in your mind when you thought that?
I was 19 at that point. I honestly felt like what I needed to do was write and paint.
Okay.
I really felt called artistically. But then what happened is shortly there I met my daughter's mother, and we quickly had a child and a variety of other mishaps.
So life hit you in a very real way.
Well, yeah. I never wrote. I didn't write, and I didn't paint.
Okay.
It's taken me. So that was 30 years ago. It's taken me 30 years to get back to the point where I'm really, truly creative again.
Jeez.
I mean, there have been things along the way. I mean, I've, built things, and there are a lot of things I do that in my head are creative and artistic.
Right.
But I have trouble accessing sometimes the space in my head because I'm worried about all my responsibilities, and it feels. It's weird because right now, especially with us trying to do this and everything we're doing, it feels self-centered to not be able to access myself and self-centered to access myself. Like both.
Explain that a little bit better.
Concentrate on me.
Right.
Or concentrate on others.
Right.
I have to find a middle ground where I can do both to be able to even be creative.
To some extent, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. And I definitely think that it's very, very hard to find a balance between doing things for others and doing things for yourself, because if you do too many things for others, you're left depleted and you can't really.
Well, then you can't. Yeah, there's nothing left for you.
Yeah, you can't do anything for yourself. And then if you do everything for yourself, you're not really thinking about how you're interacting with people, and you're hurting people along the way without even giving it a second thought.
Yeah.
Or well, not even a second thought, a before thought.
Well, when I think of the idea of, that you have to be compassionate to everybody, I think you have to include yourself. And I think that's,
Right.
I think actually, for me, I think that's the hardest part.
Definitely.
That I can see all of this. I can go, oh, this needs that, and that needs this, and this needs that, and that needs, okay, I got that. But to then define the moment by my needs feels, if somebody comes to me and needs something, I don't want to go, well, no, but I need this right now.
Right.
Because that doesn't feel. Those of you who haven't met him, come here. Well, come here. Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Can you hear him?
Hope you guys
That
can.
is the one and only producer from California. You may have heard of him if you heard of him. Mr. Sugar Midnight. Suge Knight. Did you have anything else you wanted to say? Hey, Suge? You talking? Well, what? Yeah.
What you talking about, bud? That is the cat.
There you go.
Suge Knight.
Everybody needs a cat.
He's very talkative.
Yeah, this is my cat.
He's very talkative. He loves to talk.
There you go. Look right into that camera, Suge. There you go. What do you want to say now? Lay down. Is that what was wrong? Lay down. Ah, that is the studio cat.
Yes. So
Every studio should have a cat.
I would say I fluctuate between. Sometimes I can't really think about other people, and sometimes I can't really think about myself. Like I sometimes go back and forth constantly. I think it might have to do with my age, but I definitely go back and forth between, okay, I'm helping everybody, and by the end of the day I just feel, dang, I can't do anything. Like,
Right.
I'm beat. And then other times I'm doing everything so good, and like I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing, but like I'm forgetting stuff. My room's not clean. And,
Right, you stop and
like,
you're like, oh crap, but I
I'm
forgot
like,
everything
oh crap,
else.
I forgot my responsibilities. You know, like I fluctuate, definitely.
Well, I think that's the line we're looking for today, folks. That in the end, first episode, where's the line? The line we're trying to find is that line that we walk, that razor's edge that's between our care about everybody we care about and our care about ourselves.
right.
How that even relates to who we are as people professionally.
Right.
That these are the questions that actually go across every spectrum. It's like, how do I find somewhere where I exist, but I'm also there so other people can exist? Like, I want to be supportive and uplifting because I know sometimes I need people to be supportive and uplifting.
Right.
Right? That I try to. And then the worst part is, though, sometimes you're like, man, I need people to. I so need people.
Right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 10 times as much into other people, and it's going to come back.
Right.
And that's not their fault. It's not like you said, hey, by the way.
Recently, I've kind of learned that. So I've been doing a lot of social media research recently.
Right.
And I've realized that the best way to get yourself out there is also very realistic for how to get people to like you to some extent. It's, you have to engage with people. And when the algorithm sees, okay, he's engaging with people, people are engaging back with him, let's push this a little bit more. He's getting people to stay on the app. That's what they're thinking. But in my head, it's also like, this person is giving something to people, so let's give something to him.
Right.
And finding that balance in anything is difficult. But I think in creative endeavors, it's very, very difficult. Like,
Gotcha, because you got to keep your voice. It's
Right,
even more. Okay, so
right.
in this moment of creativity, not only is it important, it defines you.
right,
If you don't keep your voice, if you
Right.
become just another voice, you disappear into a sea of voices.
yes,
But
Right.
if you don't care about the other voice,
Right.
it's a razor's edge.
right,
It's consistently okay, so how do I keep from falling too far one way or another,
right,
using this source over here that's other people's thoughts to help me recreate who I am, but not let them make me who I am, that we're constantly struggling with.
yes.
I had a great thought.
What was your thought?
I really don't know, or I would have shared it with you. To be
Sometimes,
fair,
sometimes that happens.
well, it's a reality.
Yeah.
It's that
Sometimes the thoughts come in so fast that you can't even catch it.
I think I am consistently looking for ways. I want to hear other people's thoughts. I want to hear what other people are thinking. I want to bring people in here to kind
Right.
of... So, for this show, for the open mic show, for all of those things, we were talking about what things were my favorite this or favorite that. And the hardest part, I've come to a conclusion as I've turned 50, that I don't know how much I believe in my perspective. Some of those pieces looking back were painful for me, but they're not anymore. So I have to question which ones are which. That the reality is, no two people see things exactly the same. So what makes me think the way I think is better than the rest of living things on this planet. And so I'm interested anymore in seeing how people see things. That's why I love being with artists. That artists
Right,
kind of give
right.
me that entry into, ooh, what are you thinking? They've already put something out to help.
To some extent, when I put a little bit more thought into it, I feel like I err a little bit more on the selfish side when it comes to thinking about people and things like that. Just because of the fact that as I was a kid, like, all I could think of was my perspective.
Okay, well,
But
that's
I've always,
reality, yeah.
but I've always been. I read a lot of books, and I paid attention in class. Like, in between talking and stuff like that.
I know.
I talked a lot, but basically, like, I have always been able to keep my perspective in my mind, and sometimes I'm able to pull in other people's perspective.
Right.
So when I don't have other people's perspective, I kind of just only have mine. So
I get that.
I kind of err on the selfish side, I feel.
I think the fact that you're aware suggests that's probably not true. I'm not saying other people may not think that
I probably
sometimes.
do a better job than most people.
I know a lot of people that don't think about it.
But I also know that sometimes I get caught up in it. I can't really, I don't know. I can't really think about anything but myself sometimes. What's the comment say?
Okay, my entire family is on the comments talking about babies and other things. I'm just saying. It is so good to see my family. They support me endlessly, no matter how crazy I am.
My family supports me more than I thought they would.
Isn't that weird?
Yes. Yes. Definitely. Definitely.
Mom, wife, daughter, all of you, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I'll be honest, I am thankful that I was able to feel like I knew you guys would be there on many levels.
Cousin, mom, grandpa, friends, all of you guys. I love you guys. You guys are so awesome. You guys are awesome. A1 family. Awesome.
A1 family.
Yes. Top of their class.
So, what'd you find different in New York than in Columbus?
So, I feel like I'm more aware of my surroundings, but at the same time, I'm also more able to mind my own business.
In New York?
Yes. So for some reason, like, when I got to New York, I quickly realized, like, New Yorkers always know what's going on around them, but at the same time, they're able to mind their own business and just stick to what they're doing. Like I could have a good conversation with somebody, but also I could just sit the entire day and not talk to anyone. Like, and just
nobody would
go
bother
about
you.
my exactly. Like I could randomly talk to a stranger and have a really good conversation.
Right.
Or I could just chill by myself. Like,
is it that you became more aware that you could do that there, or do you feel like in
well,
Columbus you didn't
the
have like
difference
people
is,
just come up and talk to you
extent,
in Columbus?
Yeah, to some extent. In Columbus, no. I'll tell you one thing that Midwest people do that New Yorkers do not do.
And then they put ranch
Okay,
on
look. So, you know, in the Midwest, people smile and they wave. People do not do that in New York. I cannot tell you how many times I've smiled and waved at somebody and they just did not smile or wave back. Like, sometimes they did, but like, it's traditionally it wasn't something people really did. I think part of it is you come across so many people that it doesn't make sense to stop and say hi to everybody. It really doesn't.
It's just a number of people.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, you see people every day. I went to a school that had 5,000 kids.
Okay, that's a lot of kids.
There was almost 1,000 kids in my graduating class, I believe.
That's crazy. Okay, so
Which, by the way, made graduation, like, so weird. But,
my graduating class in 1989.
okay.
Okay, my freshman year, we started with 138 students.
Mm-hmm.
We lost and got some, so some transferred in and out.
Right.
69 in my graduating class. Yeah,
Jeez.
I know. Trust me, it was an all-boys school. Everybody pointed out that we lost 69 students, gained 69 students, and then they said 69 over and over again. It's an all-boys school.
Right. They're going to talk about it. It's definitely something to talk about when you're a teenager. When you're a teenage boy specifically.
So, we were talking about how in Ohio, everybody says hello, and I was talking to some people in the chat about the fact that in the Midwest, it's hello with a side of ranch. They're like, and some ranch. And then she's going, yeah, no, if anybody who walks into her restaurant in Florida, if they ask for ranch, she knows they're from the Midwest. They're like, oh,
okay.
I know where you're from.
Actually, that's a good point. because I always eat pizza with ranch.
Pizza with
I
ranch is
love
definitely
pizza
Columbus.
with ranch. Like,
Little ranch cut through
yeah,
the pizza
definitely.
sauce.
I'm weird with pizza though. I like to take off the toppings and eat them, and then I eat like just the bread and the sauce, and yeah, I'm a bit weird, but
No. Where is the line? Is Ross weird? So one of the things we struggle with constantly is, it's not even work play. It's not even others versus self and responsibility. It's, as an artist, you're also kind of trying to access these feelings, but also trying to not let them overwhelm you.
to some extent, yeah.
Hey, let me talk about this stuff from inside of me. Oh, wait a minute, I worked up all this stuff inside of me. I'm not sure I want to talk anymore.
Right. No. Because sometimes, I swear, sometimes I'll be writing a song and like literally I'll be doing something else and then I'll catch a vibe. I'll catch a feeling. And I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing now. All right, this is what we're doing. We're writing this feeling down. Yep, exactly. We're writing this feeling down, and I can't really get out of it. Like sometimes I almost feel like I'm stuck in a, like, my emotions control me a lot.
Oh, I get that.
sometimes. Like, and I kind of just have to make decisions around my emotions as opposed to making logical decisions, and I think I feel like as an artist that's definitely like more of a thought than anything else. Logical decisions and being an artist does not always go hand in hand.
My daughter says she no longer eats ranch dressing now that she's in Florida. And I
Okay.
said that was totally reasonable because it's not live caught like it is in the Midwest.
Well, I wonder.
Well, you don't want ranch that's been shipped that far, man. That's not fresh.
Well, I wonder what the dressing of choice is in Florida.
Yeah, what's the dressing of choice in Florida?
That's a good question. Well, it's gonna take a second for them to see.
Anyways.
So yeah, it's fine.
That
Talk about it if it comes up.
as we deal with this push and pull of wanting to be in the world and not feeling comfortable in the world, finding where that line is between responsibility and creativity. You know, trying to define ourselves,
Right.
you know, without over defining our audience.
Shug.
You know, that what in this, so
He's tearing up the carpet, by the way.
we've been working here for about 6 months in this basement.
Yes.
There's a hint. And
Cooking up in the lab.
cooking up in the lab, right? I don't have that hat. I need. I
You know what? You know what we should do?
I need a Breaking
You know what
Bad
we should
hat.
do? I was gonna say we should get masks, and I'll be Jesse Pinkman. You'll be Bryan Cranston.
There we go.
Yeah.
Love Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
I keep struggling with where you're defining yourself or where you're trying to be what other people want.
Okay.
Like, and I know you struggle with that because
Definitely.
I see like there are pieces of music that you're not as comfortable with because they don't feel as yours, even though
Right.
they came totally out of you.
I definitely know the song you're talking about.
Okay, right?
And I think I've come to terms with the idea that there are going to be songs that I'm not exactly going to like,
Right.
but someone's going to like it. Or someone's going to find I kind of separate, okay, I in my head I separate whether or not a song is good and whether or not I like it. So I'll put a song out if it's good.
Right.
Whether or not I like it, kind of irrelevant, because I still made it. It's still my thing. But, like, to some extent, like, I get that I run the risk of having people like me for something that I don't like about myself or something that I don't exactly think of as my best song.
Right.
But I'm okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that. Even a life where you're running around the country playing songs you hate is still pretty cool. I think so.
So here's this thought that came to me as you were. So maybe you have to put out your message even on the days it doesn't feel 100% yours, because maybe what you're doing is putting it out because somebody else needs to hear it.
Right.
That's powerful. I mean, when you think
Right,
about it, that's
definitely.
really powerful.
Definitely.
I mean, across the board, the idea of sometimes, which relates to where sometimes the reason I'm at where I'm at, and I think I'm on this side of the line, is I'm on this side of the line for somebody on the other side of the line I'm not even aware of.
Right.
That putting out a message, putting out a thought, will grow organically once it leaves you, whether it be music, whether it be a book, artistically. That I think when artists try and hold on to something as theirs to the point of going, oh, you can't change that way, that's not meaningful.
Right.
I think I have to for me at least, I have to create and go, okay, now I want it to change out there.
Right. I think to some extent it's totally up to the artist, which is if an artist makes a song, turns out to hate it, and never wants to play it again, that's their decision.
To some
I get extent, I respect that. Like, I respect that opinion. I just have a different one.
Right. Well, one of the things we've talked about is bringing more kind of live in the studio kind of things, where we're watching you go through some of the process, or other artists. You're going to be hosting live at 586B, or 586B Live, or whatever route I put that in whatever order.
It'll be branded somehow.
Yes, it'll be branded somehow.
586B will be
Ooh, did you hear that?
title.
Branded.
See what I did there? 586B will be in the title.
But that, because I think that's one of the most interesting parts. I think often, especially with big name artists, they kind of want to go, oh, look, and like it magically happens somehow. But for instance, if you haven't watched the Beatles, Let It Be background, I believe it's Netflix. Is it Netflix that has that?
Disney Plus.
Disney. Oh, I apologize.
Yeah,
Disney
Plus.
Plus. Disney Plus. It is. You're literally watching the Beatles break up.
Right.
Which makes it like viscerally hard for those of us who love the Beatles, because you can. Man, there's some stuff going on in that room. But the creative process, anywhere along the way, I've always enjoyed watching, because. Okay, I'm going to give my favorite example. Some people are going to go, well, oh, that's not I think he's one of the most amazing artists around, Bob Ross. Once around. He's no longer with us. But the belief that part of the process, as much as he has a plan going forward on the painting, is that there are going to be happy little mistakes that appear.
Right, and you got to roll with it.
And that's the universe contributing to what you're creating.
Right.
You know, that you didn't plan those happy little trees, but that paint, trees go there.
To some extent, I feel like art, and I'm speaking specifically about like drawing and painting, I think it's definitely a medium where you kind of have to like roll with it a little bit. Like, if you make a mistake, you don't really just start over. Like, you can with drawing drawing things you can redo. Like, you can definitely like redo a drawing you did 10 years ago.
Not really. I don't think you can.
Well, no. I'm saying
you could copy it maybe,
you could.
You'd
I
bring
guess,
a new perspective.
Yes. It's a different it's a different thing.
Okay.
But maybe it's the same idea that you were going for before. But like, I guess with writing songs, I find that a lot of times I have the ability to go back and constantly look at it and be like, I don't like that line. And take that out. Replace it. Like, to some extent, it's easier to get stuck in my head, you know, where like I can get to a place where I'm like, this isn't good enough.
I almost have to push it out, or I'll keep messing with it.
Exactly.
That no one will
it'll
ever
never
see
be
it,
done
because
it'll never be done if I keep messing with it.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And also one lesson I learned I did a painting class, just random.
Right.
But basically, like, I did this painting. It was a landscape. It was a sunset. It was really beautiful. I love this painting. And then I kept touching it. And what happened was I ruined it because of the fact that I kept touching it. I ruined like the way that the colors look. I can still see in my head how it looked originally. But now when I look at it, like when I would look at that painting, I would sit there and think like, you can't keep messing with it. You gotta let it go. You gotta know when to be like, all right, it's done.
Know when to hold 'em. Know when to fold 'em.
That's funny.
Know when to walk away.
Who's that?
Know when to run.
Who's that?
You never count your money while you're sitting at the table.
I was gonna guess Elvis, but that doesn't sound like an
Baby,
Elvis song.
plenty time for counting when the game is through. I can't sing
Who is it?
this song very well, that's maybe.
Okay, so stop. Anyways, no, but who's that though?
I am so awful, and it's Kenny Rogers.
Okay.
Kenny Rogers. There we go.
Okay.
Famous for chicken.
I've
and
heard that
other
name,
things.
but I haven't. I don't think I've.
It's
I
okay.
don't think I'm familiar.
It's
with
okay.
This word.
You know what? You're 18.
I know that song though. I
The
definitely
Gambler.
know that song.
That's The Gambler.
Okay.
But to some extent, I think you have to be open to the idea of the happy little trees too. So one of my main thoughts on how do you produce a radio show or whatever you want to call this was learned from, as mentioned, driving a lot. And I listen to Howard Stern a lot, and I listen to a lot of talk radio.
Right.
The thing that was the most interesting was what's going to happen next.
To some extent.
That real life doesn't feel scripted. And it's finding that line
But
between scripted and real.
Mm-hmm.
So going in with an idea, whether it be because of something that was important to you to express to the world or something that was important to you specifically to express artistically, that what happens is organic after that. Not only here between you and I,
Right.
but
Right.
it turns into a whole discussion about ranch.
To some extent, the reason why. So, like he said, we've been working for about 6 months.
People are making fun of you for not knowing who Kenny Rogers is. Go ahead.
Oh,
We've been working
wow.
for about 6 months,
Dang, man. Dang. Showing my age.
right?
Has a very different context when you're young saying that. But anyways,
Yeah, really. Trust me. I got more aches and pains, and he's just complaining.
we've been working for about 6 months, and we've recorded this show a lot. We've lost some stuff, but one of the things I always liked about doing this show specifically is that I love how we can start off with an idea
Right.
of what we're going to talk about, or even not even at like that at all. We don't even start off with an idea. We just go into it, and what comes out, well, yeah.
Go ahead.
Sometimes I have an idea. Sometimes we discuss it before. Sometimes we
That's
don't.
true. Sometimes we are
But-
much more vocal. Go ahead.
Yes, but basically, I've always liked the fact that something so organic can come out of just
Right.
talking. Like that's what I like about like podcasting and just content and just watching people talk, watching people have conversation.
I think that's our message, though.
Definitely.
I mean, okay. So, in addition, I had never really watched much in the way of podcasts prior to 6 months ago.
I have.
Ross has watched a few.
Yeah.
We watched some really bad podcasts along the way.
Yep.
You know, stuff that Ross
We've
was a
made
fan
fun of some things. We've made fun of some things.
That I will say this: we should have kept watching podcasts because I had a lot more confidence when we were watching that stuff because I realized how low the bar was. I was like, "Oh damn, I can get over that bar," and then I got back in my head. But what I wanted to bring that was different, that what we wanted to bring, was this. This is not fake. We're watching a video of somebody else's life falling apart.
Right.
This is our life falling apart. No, I jest. I think perhaps I jest too much. But anyways,
Amen.
but that I think this is our message for humanity. Whatever. I mean, to be fair,
To be fair.
to be fair,
Shouts
To be
out
fair.
Connor Kenny. You guys gotta watch that so you get that reference. Please, watch it. It's awesome.
it is in communication that we realize we're similar.
Mm.
It's when we discuss these lines, we all of a sudden all go, oh, I thought we didn't agree on the lines. And really I have found over and over again that everybody's like, oh, you know what, the problem is we're pushing back and forth on these things and blah, blah, blah. And then no matter where I went in the country, in the world,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was doing the same thing. They were just trying to take care of their family, and there were these crazy people up top doing stupid stuff.
The one thing I loved about New York, I met basically a new person every day, like at school, easy, like because there's 5,000 kids. You're 5 floors. There's daggone near a block of school, so you're gonna meet a new person every day. Basically, I would always have these conversations with these random people that I just met, and what I always found was like, I can talk to this person. I can relate to this person. This person's a regular person. This person
It ends
has
up,
their little
people are people,
this
so why
person-
should it be?
right. This person has their little idiosyncrasies that make them their specific.
Idiosyncrasies.
I did not say the word right because I don't speak English correctly. Jesus,
I love that.
it's my first language, but like
He's my first language.
it's my
Give me a
first
second.
language. But give me a second though.
Right?
Anyway,
We apologize for if that came across like we were. That was
No harm-
generic learning English
no
as a
harm,
second
no foul.
language. Yes.
yeah, no, nothing meant by that. Anyways, basically, like, I just started to develop the idea that I can go anywhere and talk to anybody and have a pretty good conversation.
Right?
And I definitely think that to some extent, if I didn't go to New York, probably wouldn't have met you. I probably wouldn't have been able to talk to you. I probably wouldn't have been able to talk to anyone. Like,
Redefines time. Yeah.
right. It just like sometimes when I think about that, it makes me like glad, and it makes me like appreciate the ability to talk to people. Like
Right.
it's such a good, it's such a valuable trait because you can really become a better person because you're gaining the experiences of other people just through conversation.
You know what? I've always said the
definitely.
lesson you can learn from somebody else as opposed to paying for it yourself is the cheapest lesson you can learn.
Right? Right?
That was a lot of words.
Right.
But so I wanted to, one last thing. I've got a quote that's got a great deal of meaning for me this week. So I'm gonna, you guys look at Pretty Ross for a minute. I'm gonna look over here so I can read this accurately. I've been looking up to Lloyd Dobler a lot lately as I try and figure out this route we're
Might
on.
I ask who that is?
Lloyd Dobler is the main character in a movie called Say Anything,
Okay.
played by, oh my God, why have I forgotten all of a
John?
sudden? John Cusack, Jones'
Yes.
brother. And Ann's brother. Don't forget Ann.
Yes, John Cusack.
That
Shouts out to the Cusacks. Awesome people, seems like.
we're talking about finding the lines that define us.
Right?
Finding the lines between responsibility and personality and who we are versus the needs of others and
Right.
being accepting of the happy little trees in our life and maybe even the chasms that open in front of us because who knows what they'll open to us.
Right?
But as far as the future, Lloyd Dobler said, I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything as a career. I don't want to sell anything bought or processed, or buy anything sold or process anything sold, bought, or processed, or repair anything sold, bought, or processed. When I wrote it in my little book over here somewhere, I wrote, I don't want to buy anything.
Mm.
I don't want to sell anything.
Mm.
I'm tired of buying and selling.
Mm.
All I want to do is give. That all I want to do is make a difference. You know, I told a friend last night that, you know, it was time to change the world, and she reminded me that, oh, no, you can't change the world. All you can change is you. And I agree. People think when I say it's time to change the world, I mean, oh, I'm gonna just.
Superman.
It takes each and every one of us. You're right.
Right.
I can't do it alone.
I think to some extent it takes being a good person to make the world better. That's the only way you can make the world better.
I think, what if you stand up
or at least
for it changing?
At the very least, if you're not a good person, try to be a better person.
Oof.
At the very least.
Every day in every way, just try and be the best person you can be when you play.
Right. Right.
That we're always constantly trying to find these lines.
Right.
That's the way that should be.
Right.
The day you quit looking for those lines are the days it stumbles.
Definitely.
Though some days you stumble because you're looking for those lines.
Right.
We're all trying to figure out how to be good to each other and good to ourselves.
Right.
How do we make space in this world for ourselves to exist as us?
Right.
And how do we, at the same time, respect others?
Definitely.
You know what? This has been Matt and Ross. We're going to keep looking for these lines. I promise.
We have more lines. We have lines and lines and lines.
We have lines on top of lines on top of lines.
Which, by the way, if you ever hear at a party, please leave. Do not engage. Just leave. It's not.
Lines and lines?
It's not. It's not. No, it's not worth it. Just, no.
Not even good pickup lines?
Okay, if it's pickup lines, then still leave.
If you go to a party and they're
still
playing our show, leave?
No. Stay at that party. Yeah, definitely.
What's
But
the
I'm
other show?
Oh, I was talking about the other context of lines and lines and lines.
Oh,
See, there you go.
these kids today. These kids today.
Hey, I'm just giving you guys forewarning. Don't.
What I want to
Don't
say
read into
is,
that.
namaste. You know what? The deep wounds and scars on my soul sees the deep wounds and scars on your soul and recognizes that the struggle is universal. We are not alone. No, it's not easy. But if we were able to all communicate about that, it might be a little bit easier.